Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be Fortitude, also known as Romantic, versus Sock. This game taking place here on Northern Isle. Over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have Fortitude, no, Romantic. So, did I say that wrong? I'm trying to remember now. Fortitude, also known as Romantic. My goodness, am I messing everything up already this early in the morning? Yes, I am. Alright, so Fortitude, also known as Romantic, going up against Sock, this game taking place here on Northern Isle. A little slip of the tongue, but then again, you guys are probably used to that, as I often am able to confuse myself. Yes, the new overlay does look very nice, and I am really hoping to test out those new pro features in just a little bit. Like the overlay just gives so much additional information and really does help casting so much, so I definitely want to do that for them as things are already underway here. Great Hall is down. Burrow, Altar of Storms coming into play. Going to be a standard game. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. For a minute, we saw the Orc player Romantic, also known as Fortitude, open up with the Tauren Chieftain first. So I made me do a little bit of a double take right there. Meanwhile, coming back on the other side, it is going to be a Death Knight. If it was a Tauren Chieftain first, that would absolutely confuse me to no end, as I'm trying to figure out what the long-term strategy would look like and be. We are getting up a rather early Voodoo Lounge. We are getting up the barracks. I don't see a second Orc Burrow yet, so we may be trying to tech to tier 2. Once we get up to that 160 lumber, it is going to take a little bit of time. Meanwhile, off on the other side, over here to the top right, we are looking at, well, Ghouls, Graveyard coming into play. There is that Death Knight. There's a Tomb of Relics. We should be picking up a Rod of Necromancy as the units will be making their way in. Alright, Death Knight quickly picks up a Rod of Necromancy, also picks up that Dust of Appearance just in case. Meanwhile, coming back on the other side there is that Death Knight already here, ready to go. Alright, someone said that the right side overlay is not really showing the mana properly. I don't believe it actually shows mana whatsoever. It actually shows you the hero level. As they gain experience and gain items, it does pop up in that window right off over here, and you can see that little purple bar is actually their experience bar, not their mana bar. So a little bit more difficult to keep track of hit points. You'll have to watch it on the main screen, as we're now looking at the Death Knight doing a little bit of creeping with some, well, little skeletal minions that he happened to pick up from the ground. Death Knight and Blade Master both doing a lot of creeping instead of trying to, well, excuse me, thank you for the subscription. I was just saying that I really want to be able to support. Actually, overall revenue is down by about like 40 to 50% because I don't use Twitch as my main source forecasting or streaming and all of the donations there. It mainly comes in from YouTube, and with that, well, YouTube and this whole entire COVID-19 has turned things a little bit upside down, making it difficult to, or not difficult, well, ad revenue is down even though views are up. Thank you for all the views out there. That is, well, maybe it's a sign that you're bored and watching from home and being able to get as much or just trying to watch as much WarCraft 3 as you can. Sentry Ward was dropped down right there. It is going to be able to keep an eye out on that Death Knight and all of these units, as the Death Knight wants to clear out this creep camp, but also wants to make sure that it doesn't give that Blade Master any extra items here. Alright, is he able to pick up anything from that marketplace? He picks up, I believe, Claws of Attack. Claws of Attack +6, a useful item once more there, as the Blade Master perhaps going to dive on in to the undead base off to the north. No, gonna instead be going after this Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi gonna take a fair amount of damage. There's a quick ensnare onto that Grunt. Grunt is not gonna take that much damage. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is absorbing quite a bit right here. This is okay for the Blade Master. Healing Salve will greatly make up for it. Gonna go ahead and pick up the item. And we're actually seeing him now go after the Ogre Warrior here. Blade Master now trying to walk away. There's another Trapper there, as the Grunt is the one now taking the damage. A Healing Salve should be going onto that Blade Master, as the Grunt is now going to be absorbing that damage there. Blade Master already at 200 hit points and climbing. Going to Healing Salve his other unit as the units are off. Did you read about the coming update Blizzard are working on? I have not. If I know links are not allowed, but I will definitely go and look for it and check it out. I thought I saw it on Reddit earlier, but well, the Reddit link wasn't working for me. So hopefully, why do players take the effort to get a circlet with the BM right away? The reason why is the Blade Master is one of those units that really benefits from all three stats very much. He wants to hit harder, he wants to have more survivability, and he wants to be able to win walk significantly more. By getting that early circlet of nobility, it allows it to win walk one more time. It does 2 additional damage per attack, has a little bit more armor, and it also has 50 additional hit points. And we've seen many cases where the Blade Master just gets enough damage to finish off a unit, or we see the Blade Master just get away with less than 50 hit points so often, and it's often because of that circlet of nobility. Obviously, I think the real question was, why are stats important on a Blade Master as opposed to just the simple yeah, I think that was the real question at hand. All right, going after that one Crypt Fiend there. Crypt Fiend going to be rather slow. That is a long hex right there, as you can take a look at it. Crypt Fiend going to end up getting taken down. There is another one right there. Frost Armor, Deathclaw trying to keep it alive. Blade Master trying to dive in after it. Will it be able to finish it off? You can take a look right there. More damage coming through. Is trying to get in front, and there is a second Deathclaw right there, as that Crypt Fiend really should be trying to back off. The ghouls are in position. Potion of Mana. Are we going to see yes, we are going to see a Windwalk trying to get their Dust of Appearance, and now the Blade Master says, you know what, I want nothing to do with that fight any longer. Yeah, high stats are important, and it's more important, say, on the Blade Master than on other heroes. You don't see a quick circlet of nobility being purchased on a Shadow Hunter. You don't see a quick circlet of nobility being purchased on an Archmage, frankly, because it doesn't help out nearly as much. It really comes out to how much mana the unit has right out of the gates. All right. Mana, hit points, and damage right out of the gates. All right, Lich gonna go ahead and, well, try and throw up Frost Armor across everything. We're gonna see another quick Death Coil, and really, Romantic is just trying to get in as much damage early on before that Death Knight can get to level 3. Once that Death Knight gets to level 3, which may be very soon here, let's take a look at this Death Knight. Is it gonna be able to get away? Oh, Blade Master, is it gonna, oh, there's the Burrow, but it still is able to get off that final attack. Death Knight still chasing after that Grunt right there. Is it gonna get that last shot off? And it looks like it does. There's level 3 on the Death Knight. Now getting some damage on a Grunt instead. That Grunt realizes, wait, with level 3 Death Knight comes level 2 Death Coil, and level 2 Death Coil means that that damage would finish off that Grunt if it ever fell below 200 hit points. Units are now looking to back up here. Sock and Fortitude, I believe, at this stage are going to try and go into their respective corners and just, excuse me, and just try and heal up a little bit more. The Death Knight picking up that Ring of Protection. You can also see that there is a pendant of energy on that Death Knight. Are we going to perhaps see that on the Lich instead, as that Lich is now off running away once more? Frost Armor is on that Lich. It is going to try and stay alive very well. Death Knight going to be coming around the corner here in just a moment. Can I set the ally color mode? Is it? No, it was in fact blue. All right. I'm trying to keep that Lich there. And anyone who uses blue on a map like this, there's Dust of Appearance. Blade Master trying to get away here once more, and it will be able to head on back. Orb of Lightning already available on that Blade Master, as the unit's going to perhaps try and dive on in. Death Knight continuing to lead that charge, trying to get a little bit more experience. There you go, gets that, I believe gets that experience right there, as the Blade Master could perhaps get a little bit of damage and finish off many of those creeps. Alright, fighting still underway. There goes some more units. Lich uncomfortably sitting at level 1 right now. It really wants level 2 for that Frost Nova. And there's a major power spike, or a significant increase in the overall effectiveness of the Undead army once, Frost Nova becomes available. The downside, though, is that in a match going up against, or if you really need, oh, there's that Blade Master. Blade Master did not get revealed, and we are looking at an Obsidian statue perhaps going to get taken down. Trying to reposition. Tauren Chieftain may be able to get off a Stomp. Yes, does get off a Stomp, stunning much of the army as the battle's still raging on. More skeletal minions coming up. Book of the Dead also being used by Sock there. Major damage damage coming across as we're looking at, well, another Sentry Ward being positioned right next to that burrowed Crypt Fiend, unbeknownst to Sock. Alright, more damage coming across here. Death Knight gets a Death Coil, gets a killing blow there as the Blade Master attempts to get away. Alright, Lich still sitting at level 1, desperately wants level 2. Obsidian Statue trying to make its way back over. There is an Orb of Lightning Purge onto that Obsidian Statue. There's that Frost Armor to try and protect something that should have, or I believe was already on that Obsidian Statue, but then again, maybe not, as it, Purge does remove it, but then again, the Blade Master looked like it attacked pretty fast to follow up. Coming back around, Blade Master still retreating back. Shadow Hunter sitting at, well, I can't actually click on those heroes any longer, excuse me. Shadow Hunter sitting at level 1, just shy of level 2. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 1 and did go for Stomp first instead of the classic Endurance Aura. The Stomp did deal significant amount of damage but was unable to get it to level 2 that quickly, as the tracker is going to get taken down there. Level 2 finally upon the Lich, as the units are now trying to make their way. A little bit of a split going back the other way. Obsidian Statue separated from the rest of the army and the fight, as the Blade Master going to try to go to the very back. Alright, there's another Obsidian Statue going to get taken down. There it goes. There's a beautiful stomp on that front line, as the, well, burrowed Crypt Fiends going to try and stick their head in the sand, forget the fact that they are losing this fight right now. 35 supply compared to 31, but that is because a couple supply is ghouls currently trying to harvest lumber. Alright, what happened there? A couple of barrels exploded off to the side. Blade Master going to try and engage here, but this could be a bad sign if he's going to see a Frost Nova on that Blade Master. No, Blade Master able to get away. Frost Nova would not ensure the death, as we know. Well, the Blade Master would easily be able to just Windwalk or use a potion of invulnerability. Windwalking not an option. Its mana was a little bit too low. Alright, so far we are seeing Sock now set up this expansion off to the north. Over here on the top left hand side, we are still having the undead trying to creep out some relatively difficult creep camps, and this game is still very much neck and neck and undecided. The fact that the undead is going to be able to set up their expansion first doesn't mean that much in the matchup. Thank you, Walter E. Jotas, for the sub. The reason why it doesn't matter that much is we are already at tier 3, and I'm assuming that there is there a tiny great hall anywhere? No. Alright, so no tiny great hall coming in from Fortitude, also known as Romantic, because even though he is clearing out this expansion location. I'm afraid I'm very busy right now. I will watch everything on YouTube later. Thank you very much for your casting. I greatly appreciate you guys' subs. Definitely does help out. I'm trying to also cut some costs, and you know, calling my internet provider, saving a couple bucks a month, after reading all of the different plans that I have. So for anyone in the US or anyone who is in a competitive marketplace, ended up finding out that I could get more for less after I called my cable company and saw all of the plans available. So able to get higher download speeds, higher upload speeds for less money, because, well, it's just the industry that we live in. This is my first time getting up at 6 a.m. to watch you. Hey, Metaphysics, what up? Yeah, well, thank you for tuning in. So glad that you guys could enjoy this. I got to do this before my kids wake up and, well, before I really get off to work. Howl of Terror now brought in. Blade Master going to go ahead, use a potion of invulnerability, and able to continue to fight. We are taking a look at a lot of berserkers in the background, but the Tauren Chieftain going to go ahead and dive in. There is a stomp only hitting that Pit Lord. Pit Lord has, however, greatly reduced the amount of damage, as that Howl of Terror drops the damage by about 7. Alright, still fighting their way through. We are going to take a look. Kodo Beast is not eating anything as of yet. Major damage lost again, as another burrowed Crypt Fiend, well, going to get stomped and still get killed. Death Knight trying to get away, is going to be able to stay alive, down to 15 hit points, and the potion of invulnerability not in time. You saw for a split second. Blade Master, is it going to be able to get away? No, yes it is. Blade Master escapes at 10, split second difference on the Death Knight using a potion of invulnerability, as the units are all trying to head back. Alright, split second difference right there, as the Tauren Chieftain now trying to head back again. Crypt Fiend, was it able to finish it off? No. 24 hit points. Blade Master still somehow alive. Death Knight was resurrected, but not enough mana. We are looking at a couple of, well, revealing sentries, but we are seeing that these obsidian statues are just too far in the back still. Tauren Chieftain may try and do a little bit more there. Big Frost Nova getting in damage across multiple units, and we're going to see all of these low hit point berserkers, or not even low hit point, but unfortunate berserkers perhaps get taken out. Goblin Zeppelin, no web available. That would have been absolutely hilarious if the Crypt Fiends actually had web to trap down some more units still after they thought they had a narrow escape. Good morning, Burrow Rush. Thank you for tuning in as well. Blade Master, Shadow Hunter, Tauren Chieftain still not setting up an expansion as of yet, and this is where Sok is going to start to pull away, I think. The economic advantage off to the north here. There is a necropolis. He can teleport to it. He now does have a sizable army advantage over his opponent, and he should get to level 3 on that Pit Lord, giving Howl of Terror a much more nasty effect, greatly reducing the amount of damage. In the past, Howl of Terror was really mainly effective against that Blade Master, greatly reducing the damage, but with area of effects, you really want your opponent's army to go wide. With the introduction of mass berserkers as part of the night elf, or excuse me, not night elf, of the orc army, what we've now seen. Well, there comes that Blade Master. Blade Master going to try to reposition all around once again. We've seen that Howl of Terror can actually be an effective strategy at greatly reducing the amount of damage that these berserkers deal. All right, with that in motion, Voodoo Lounge now going to get pressured out. 68 supply over 70. We are looking at multiple obsidian statues in play, and we now see, well, Fortitude realizes, hey, you know what, I do in fact need to try and get into low upkeep, as a third base now being set up by Sok. That base off over there doesn't have nearly as much gold though, only 9,000, enough for 15 minutes of mining. Both guys off racing, interesting, Romantic, yeah. Both guys off racing there, continuing their push once again. Nice to see that these players have a good enough idea and general understanding of strategies to be able to off-race and still give us an entertaining game. Tauren Chieftain gonna go ahead and dive on in. You take a look, there is a stomp right there, but that Tauren Chieftain only being at level 2 instead of level 3, having a great effect, not stunning down many of the Crypt Fiends on the back. You can take a look, that area of effect really not as large as that burrowed Crypt Fiend is saved once again. All right, low hit point obsidian statue. This could be a very bad day for it, down to 48 hit points, down to 23, and it still ends up getting taken down. Beautifully done there, as the units are now continuing to try to back up. Howl of Terror being brought through. Sok trying to leave behind a Crypt Fiend, ends up losing that there, as the Tauren Chieftain, now at level 3, may be able to launch a nice stomp once again. All right, burrowed Crypt Fiend, or Kodo Beast, sorry, trying to hide in the back. Pit Lord still fighting their way through. Scroll of Town Portal being used there. 51 supply compared to 43, but Sok realizes that he cannot stay in this fight. One burrowed Crypt Fiend gonna end up getting lost right there. Down it goes. 4.6 level. We're level 4, level 3 compared to 4, 3, 3. Both sides are about even. But at this stage, Sok really, with that economic advantage, should have a much more commanding lead. Is Fortitude or Romantic a better name, Proto? What do I think? I like Romantic better as a name. It's just the name that I've well, not grown up, but I've learned under, or I've thought of as Romantic. Fortitude actually describes, can be used to describe an actual unit. Like, that particular unit has a lot of fortitude and is not going to end up falling. It, fortifications, all of those things there. So choosing a name that also can be used to describe a race, right, or describe units, can often be confusing to players who are uninitiated and don't know the players' names all that well. All right, so I mean, could you imagine if someone's name in the game was Agility, right? Sok means juice in my language, by the way. All right. Well, unit's gonna, well, getting a little bit of extra damage off to the side here is Todd's actual name. Todd. Note, Todd's actual name is not Todd. Todd's actual name is Jan Merlot. All right, anyways, Blade Master going to try and engage here. Tauren Chieftain trying to find a way. There is that scroll of speed, but a beautiful, beautiful trying to block off that Tauren Chieftain to prevent it from being able to stun those back units here. However, the Death Knight and the Pit Lord are now in a strange spot there. Shutting down that Tauren Chieftain was actually huge, but the Troll Berserkers were still able to find an Obsidian statue to take down. Tauren Chieftain going to go ahead and try and engage. There is a quick burrow. Once again, a stomp would have actually finished off that burrowed Crypt Fiend. And surprised that the Tauren Chieftain didn't realize that, and could have been able to just squash that bug right there. Shadow Hunter does fall at level 3 as the units are now trying to back up again. Shadow Hunter is currently back out, and is it going to be able to get enough mana? Howl of Terror being used, greatly reducing the amount of damage on all of those Spirit Walkers and those Troll Berserkers. Once again, Tauren Chieftain is going to, well, try and throw down a stomp. There is not a lot of units to actually show for, and this is rather strange. There's that stomp once again. Tauren Chieftain and was able to get in a big stomp once more. And you look at the army sizes, 51 to 40. What happened to the undead army? Undead army is supposed to be larger, but the Berserkers, there are just so many of them right now. Kodo Beast, there's an abomination in the belly as the Tauren Chieftain going to try and launch another stomp again. Death Knight does have enough for a death coil, but the Kodo Beast is just outside of that there. Shadow Hunter going to take a little bit of damage as the Lich is back out onto the field. More damage coming through. Kodo Beast did end up getting taken down. Blade Master, there's a purge right there. Are we going to see the Blade Master finish off the abomination? Yes, we are. Blade Master gets up to level 5. Blade Master down to 120 hit points. We had enough for Frost Nova, and there goes that Blade Master there. Alright, Blade Master able to finish off some units once again. Meanwhile, Pit Lord is coming back out. Death Knight now trying to come back in. Blade Master gone, greatly reducing the amount of damage again. Pit Lord needs to throw up another Howl of Terror here in just a moment. As you can see, well, there goes that Kodo Beast. Is it going to be able to get away down to 48 hit points? One more shot should, oh, come on, one more shot should do it. No, down to 10 hit points, down to 8 hit points. There it goes. Pit Lord up to level 4, but the Death Knight, or the Lich, now getting hexed and unable to stay alive. Pit Lord now currently back out onto the field. Are we going to see any more damage coming through as the units are trying to finish off some of those units? There's a cleave coming through again. 43 supply compared to 27. The rest of the army finally showing up. It feels like there's just more units getting trained, and that was where many of Sock's units were. Lich needs to be resurrected. Was it resurrected at the tavern? Of course it was, as we are getting ready to go into, well, the next fight here. It looks like the undead wants to pressure the expansion, make sure it gets taken out very quickly. Death Knight coming across here, and well, we're not even seeing a Frost Nova onto any of this mining as the burrows are starting to launch an attack back. Lich still trying to get some of that mana back as well. Alright, in comes the Pit Lord. There's that cleave ability, able to deal so much damage again, trying to finish off some of those units as well. There goes a peon as well, and now this expansion may end up falling. What is Romantic or Fortitude's counterattack? He's going to try and put pressure on the opposing expansion, and knowing that his Blade Master is still not ready to go. Has about 40% left of that resurrection time, maybe about another 25 seconds or so as Acolytes trying to get away. Are we going to see an unsummon? Yes, we are. Tauren Chieftain, yes, does get that stomp. Going to finish off all 4 of those Acolytes and perhaps give that Tauren Chieftain level 4. That is going to be a nice damage boost, as it does give a next level of endurance aura for faster movement all across the board. Alright, incoming in on the other side, Lich sitting at level 4, Pit Lord sitting at 4. So we are at 5-4-4 compared to almost 5-4-4. An Orc Burrow might actually be enough to give the next level, but where is the Death Knight? Death Knight is nowhere to be seen. There it is. Death Knight is off to the north here, 4.9. You see the resurrection on that Blade Master. Blade Master going to try and get back out. Kodo Beast also coming in, and the Kodo Beast realizes, wait, you know what? I don't really want to be here. Blade Master going to try and perhaps venture forward. Again, that Kodo Beast going to be incredibly important as there's a little bit of a pincer play. Blade Master now diving in straight after that Obsidian Statue. Obsidian Statue easily taken down. 260 critical strike, dealing major damage. Tauren Chieftain studying off 4 units right there. Blade Master going after the Death Knight. Death Knight could be in trouble, trying to get away, has a potion of greater healing and does not use it in time. Unable to use the healing in time. That hex lasting forever and a day as we're looking at a surrounded Tauren Chieftain who is somehow still alive, and all of a sudden Sock is falling apart. Fortitude is able to deal so much damage. 26 supply, pushing back a 53 supply army as the Blade Master continuing to chase after units. How much more experience can we get? Can the Shadow Hunter find another major target, perhaps finish off any additional units again, as Sok is, well, still in a big, massive retreat. Blade Master, however, a little bit too far, will need to double back around, but has no way to easily heal, and is the level 5 Blade Master going to fall again? That is the problem. Berserker's now trying to come back through, trying to get in a little bit more damage. -4 debuff even after the Kodo beefs improved war drums. More fighting getting underway. Blade Master taking a lot of damage once again in that frontline spot. What is that Blade Master doing? He is trying to get back around. Death Coil finds its target. Death Knight and Pit Lord get to the next level, and that is the game. All right, a beautiful back and forth game right there. Sok was on the run, was able to get back to the tavern, higher up the hero, but really what we saw was Fortitude, or Romantic, overextending with that Blade Master, with that chase, that long distance Death Coil and Frost Nova, that range hero nuking of the undead army, nothing to laugh at. And once we saw level 5 on not only the Death Knight, but that Pit Lord, that was just far too much for Fortitude to handle. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.